Hello and welcome back to the NHL Best Bets. Yesterday round was pretty good from our picks point of view. Finally, we got both picks correct, and here we can recap a little bit what were the games that we had. So Montreal visited Vancouver. That was back and forth Hawaii hockey type of game where both teams scored quite a bit. End result after the shootout was 6-5 to Vancouver, so plus 118 odds provided good profit there. Another game that we picked, Minnesota visited Anaheim, and even though Anaheim had chances to tie the game, and Minnesota had chances to put puck to the empty net in final seconds. The game ended 3-2, and result was under 5.5 goals, and that provided another profit for us. Tommy, how do you see these games? Went as predicted, or was there some luck involved as well?
Yeah, we went pretty much as predicted. Of course, in Vancouver, there was also a little bit of luck because, at least in my point of view, the shootouts are always quite a coin flip, so you never know what's going to happen. But when we take a look at the odds of Vancouver, that were quite heavy underdogs, according to the odds, our simulations were closer to the correct result than the odds, so we can be happy about that. And it was a good pick, of course, when you get such odds for a 50-50 game. In Anaheim, Minnesota, of course, the goaltenders we had in our simulations, the number one keepers starting. They went with the secondary ones. It didn't really change a lot in our simulations. 0.2 goals maximum, so not a lot of difference. Ryan Miller, Kaapo Kähkönen in the goal, so no fault for the keepers there. Of course, we were a bit lucky there as well with the long-standing 2-3 and no goals after that. So, but it's always the case that the puck bounces here and there, and then you have to be a little bit lucky in these games as well. But that's why we trust the system, and when you have 868 games in the regular season, it's bound to be a positive result in the end.
How about other games? As you see, Vegas took another victory again. They have now won all 4 games that they've played. Only team to match that one in NHL. Like we discussed yesterday, Arizona was the value bet there, but Vegas team has provided to be very strong, so that was the main reason why we didn't bet Arizona. Then Edmonton finally stand up and maybe provided performance that was expected.
Yeah, for sure. Edmonton has been one of our simulations favorites, and finally they got the performance they've been looking for, 1-3 against Toronto on the road. So it was a good game from Edmonton, a little bit different from what we've seen. They actually did play quite well defensively and kept the Toronto Maple Leafs out of the scoring chances.
Yeah. Then another defensive battle between San Jose and St. Louis. St. Louis lost the game in shootout, and they were outshot by San Jose quite a bit. So is this some kind of worrying trend that our one of the top teams are now struggling?
I think it's still early in the season, and they were a bit disappointing. Of course, they lost to Colorado 8-0. Something that shouldn't happen, of course, at any point of the season. Then they beat San Jose 5-4, but a lot of goals allowed. Definitely something that they don't want to do, and this is likely to be a sort of reset for St. Louis Blues for defensively, that they try to figure it out how to box the offenses out of San Jose, and just to start their defensive prowess again. So maybe they allowed the shots, maybe not so many first grade scoring chances, and only 1 goal allowed in the 60 minutes. So it's a good sign defensively. Of course, then they have to also start scoring and not allow that many goals day in, day out. But I think this is a sort of building thing that they realize that they have to do in order to compete.
Yeah, I think St. Louis needs to maybe go back to the drawing board how they won the Stanley Cup a few years ago and play that way night after night.
Lose half of the season and then start winning.
Yeah, hopefully they will lose only half of this month and then start to play.
Yeah.
How about overall our system? What kind of numbers we have now from the last games or overall the season? Is machine still beating man?
Yeah, from yesterday we got a little bit of profit. Of course, those Arizona and St. Louis were our picks in side value, but then Vegas was the money line pick, so got some profit in one category there. At the moment, taking a look at the numbers, side value, so this is the one that we try to pick the picks. We have 31 correct, 23 wrong, profit of plus 279. Money line, then the winner of the game, 34 correct, 20 wrong, and profit of 366. And also in the over-unders, we have a little bit less picks because there is not always value. 19 correct, 16 wrong, and plus 140. So pretty well, again, like a little bit profit. So this is a good sign that we're not digging a hole in these categories in our simulation. So the system works pretty well. Let's keep that going and improve our picks again.
Yeah, and there is a good list of games again tonight, and we have selected 2 games that we want to show all of you. Here we go for tonight's best bets. First game, Philadelphia is visiting Boston. In our simulations, they are favorite, but in bookmakers, it's actually vice versa. Boston is clear favorite in this matchup, and they have played against each other 10 times during the last 3 seasons. Philadelphia has been or have had upper hand. They won 6 out of those, and especially on the road, there has been quite a good value to bet for Philadelphia. The side value profit is almost 300 out of 5 games. And also Philadelphia is now playing first game on the road after those home games, and they are performing this first game pretty well compared to overall performance in road games. So all these different historical statistics are favoring Philadelphia, and our simulations provide also good value. So that's our first pick. Second one, Winnipeg at Ottawa. Ottawa is home underdog slightly, but still underdog. They lost previous matchup between these teams. Was it shootout or overtime a few days ago? Overtime, Winnipeg won 4-3, and now we think Ottawa will bounce back. They played reasonably well earlier this season, and I think they have also some misses from the lineup in Winnipeg side, so that is not helping them to score too many goals. How do you see these picks? Are these solid ones to continue our win streak?
Yeah, absolutely. I like these picks a lot. Actually, the Flyers odds are it was plus 130, not that much as 220. But yeah, anyway, there is great value. We have Philadelphia, of course, is one of our favorites again to win the East. Boston, not so much. So they were a couple of points behind in the season preview and are still considered a little bit lesser team of these two. They lost Torrey Krug, Jeno Chara, some injury problems. David Pasternak's still out. So Philadelphia, even if Sean Couturier might miss a lengthened period of time, they still have a great team, and they are young, very feisty club. So they will be a tough match for Boston for sure. And with these odds, it's a no-brainer. And a little bit similar situation in Ottawa. Winnipeg previously maybe a little bit better team, but Ottawa is young, up-and-coming team. They already showed last time when these two met. Ottawa took the shots 41-28. They had a lot of more better scoring chances than the Winnipeg Jets did. So I think this is a good pick as well. And of course, it is at least speculated that Winnipeg would start Laurent Brossoit, the second goalkeeper, not Connor Hellebuck in the goal. So that's a little bit something that puts the weight to Ottawa as well. In the other games, there is not a lot of valuable picks. We do have Vancouver-Montreal again, back-to-back game. We're in a little bit still leaning towards Vancouver, but it's the second game and back-to-back, so let's not touch that at this time. Also, Los Angeles Kings hosting Colorado Avalanche. Colorado, of course, a massive favorite and also favorite in our simulations, but the value in those odds is quite low, so that is something that we're gonna stay out of. The same goes with Tampa Bay at Columbus. And the final game, New Jersey at New York Islanders. We predict quite a low scoring game. New York Islanders is the favorites. New Jersey is played a bit better maybe than we anticipated. So probably also better to stay away from that. We do have Islanders as the favorites inside value as well.
Yeah, I think biggest value here based on purely simulations is still Vancouver that we picked correctly last night, but there are some statistics related these back-to-back games that is not supporting this one very well, because the Vancouver home win percentage during the last 3 seasons is almost 50, it's 49%, but their home back-to-back game win percentage is only 20, so they have won 1 out of 5 back-to-back games at home, especially the last one of these back-to-back. So historical statistical trends are not favoring too much Vancouver in this case. And when you think about the totals, is there any borderline bets that you maybe could do if there's nothing else to bet?
Yeah, there is always these borderline things that you have to do your own coin flipping. We were thinking of that Los Angeles Kings Colorado game, of course, heavy offense in Colorado, but the goaltenders might be pretty good as well. So we were thinking of over there. It's pretty much 50-50 with the line of 5.5 in our simulations, but not a lot of value there. But if you prefer these sort of bets, maybe look into that. Another one that was mentioned was New York Islanders, New Jersey. That looks like an under game a lot. Both teams really good goaltenders, both teams playing quite a lot of defense. So those might be the things to look at.
Yeah, I think it's good to check in both of these games the starting goalies at the end. So especially if Colorado, LA are not playing with their first goalies, the over might be good bet for fans who like to have goals and hope that both teams will score at least 2 goals per period.
Yeah, that looks good. And also, if you hate sports, you bet the under in New York Islanders, New Jersey Devils game.
Yeah, under is always a bet of pessimistic guys.
Definitely.
But we'll see how this goes. Come back tomorrow after watching all these good games.
Yeah, let's do that.